Last night, the NBA All-Stars were officially announced, and it had a lot of people very confused. In the Western Conference, you had guys like Steph Curry and Ja Morant, which led the fact that people like Devin Booker and Chris Paul would not be All-Star starters for the West. And in no one's surprise, LeBron James, who is the captain of the West, made it, and so did Nikola Jokic, who again, he deserved it. There was one All-Star selection that made a lot of people confused and mad at the All-Star system. And if you can't tell, I'm talking about Andrew Wiggins, who is the starting small forward for the Western Conference. Now, Andrew Wiggins is not a bad player, and I'm not saying that. Ever since he got traded to the Warriors from Minnesota, he's been playing lights out. The man has transcended his career from an NBA draft bust to an NBA All-Star. However, he is not deserving of an NBA All-Star starter, and a lot of people would agree with that. When I initially saw this, I think me and everyone else could probably think of more than 5 people that deserved it over Andrew Wiggins. Now, let me be clear, I think he definitely does deserve to be an NBA All-Star, but just that. But I'm sorry, Andrew Wiggins does not deserve to be a starter for the Western Conference. In this video, we're going to talk about basically why, number 1, this even happened, because there are a bunch of reasons why this did end up happening. Number 2, we're going to talk about players that should have been in the All-Star game starting lineup over Andrew Wiggins. And number 3, we are going to be discussing why the NBA All-Star voting system is a lot more messed up than people give it for. Because at this point, something needs to change with the NBA All-Star system. I've been saying this for years, and the fact that we let this happen, I think this solidifies my point. Of course, before I get into the content, if you guys could leave a like on this video and subscribe to the channel if you're new and notifications on. I'm trying to hit 100,000 subscribers on this channel by the end of the year, and your subscription would be greatly appreciated. Let's get into the video. Now, I think it's no secret that the Golden State Warriors are a very popular team, and in fact, they're one of the best teams in the NBA. And I think what's crazy about it is you can have a player like Andrew Wiggins be your 3rd, maybe even 4th best player and still be an All-Star. However, we need to look at the obvious and the fact that the Western Conference does not have that many good small forwards. And when I saw that Andrew Wiggins got the spot, I really tried to think of a lot more small forwards in the Western Conference that were better than him. And other than guys like Brandon Ingram and maybe Paul George, I really couldn't think of that many guys. The only reason I was hesitant about Paul George is because he plays shooting guard, I think. The NBA in these past couple years has been moving towards a positionless basketball game. If I'm being honest, you probably could have stuck a power forward or a shooting guard there. And in fact, I do have some people that are different positions than small forward but should have been in the spot. I also do need to remind you guys that the NBA All-Star voting is 50% fans, 25% media, and 25% players. There is this little thing going on around. I don't know how true this is. I'm not even going to try to validate this. There's someone on Twitter basically saying that a lot of people believe that K-pop stans are the reason Andrew Wiggins got in. Again, I'm not going to try to validate this claim, but it does make the point that the Golden State Warriors do indeed have a lot of fans in a lot of places of the world. Realistically, yes, I think Andrew Wiggins is a good player, but he's just not the level to be an NBA All-Star starter. Now, who are some players that could have replaced Andrew Wiggins' spot in the NBA All-Star lineup? I don't think it's a secret that I believe Devin Booker should have been an NBA All-Star starter. The man is the best player on the best team in the NBA. What I find very interesting is that among fans, he was 5th when it came to Western Conference guards. However, when it came to the players, he was 3rd. I can't find the media numbers, so I'm not going to bring those up. Judging by the past they have, he was probably either 4th or 5th. But I think it does say something that players, you know, the guys that are actually playing in the NBA, believe that Devin Booker was right there as an NBA All-Star starter. You look at the fact that the 2 guards are Ja Morant and Steph Curry, that did not surprise me. I mean, they're both playing like NBA MVP candidates. However, don't tell me that Devin Booker can't play small forward in the NBA All-Star game over Andrew Wiggins. That's honestly BS, and I think everyone, including myself, agreed that if you're the best team in the NBA and you have the best backcourt in the NBA, how do you not have at least one of your starters in the NBA All-Star lineup? I think what's funny is for Devin Booker's first NBA All-Star appearance, I believe he was actually a substitute because one of the reserves got injured. However, if you think that Devin Booker is mad underrated, get ready until I tell you about this next player. There's no way in my right mind that I can't put Brandon Ingram over Andrew Wiggins. Unfortunately, the more popular reason and the main reason why Brandon Ingram is not a starter over Andrew Wiggins is just for the fact that the Pelicans are not a top team right now. I think to say they're not just a top team is a little bit of an underestimate to say how bad this team is playing. Even though Brandon Ingram fully does deserve it, it is not really that popular anymore to have good players on bad teams make the NBA All-Star game because to some people it's just empty stats. And if you ask me, I'm a firm believer that empty stats do not exist exists, and I do plan that to make a video in the future, so if you do want to see that, make sure y'all stay tuned. And if we even look at the stats, Brandon Ingram is still doing better than Andrew Wiggins. But again, when you let the fucking fans vote, it does not end well. Because the NBA community can be a beautiful place sometimes, and it can also be the worst thing ever. I swear, going on NBA Twitter can honestly ruin your mental health. The point I'm trying to make is that NBA fans are a little bit delusional sometimes, and to be honest, there's a lot more casuals than you think. And it's not even necessarily bad to be a casual, because not every single person can watch an NBA game every single day. Not everyone has the pleasure of being able to keep up with basketball 24/7 as a job. But you don't have to be watching basketball 24/7 to not be a casual, but I'm just trying to make a point. And I've started to notice this trend that a lot of people that follow my channel more specifically are not really that much casual fans that I would think. Because a lot of the points I make, whether I'm talking about smaller market teams or just how I feel about certain players, a lot of people actually agree with me. But if someone tried to put those takes on NBA Twitter, all the casuals would be trying to fight them. With that being said, I'm gonna name just one more player, even though there are multiple people that I would put over Andrew Wiggins. Now, Luka Doncic and Brandon Ingram are a little different from each other in this aspect because the Dallas Mavericks at the time of recording this are currently the 5 seed. Apparently, Luka Doncic is a guard. I thought he was a small forward because of his frame, and I swear that's what he came into the NBA as. But I think a lot of people would have put Luka Doncic over Andrew Wiggins. This isn't even disrespect, as Luka Doncic is a generational talent. I'm sorry you're Warriors fans, but he just didn't deserve that spot. Reserve? Yeah, sure, I'm cool with that. For him to be a starter is wild to me. This is also an honorable mention because he is currently injured right now, and I don't know if he's going to be back in time for the NBA All-Star game. But Draymond Green could have played power forward, and you move LeBron to small forward. One of the main reasons why I even made this video is because we need to talk about the NBA All-Star voting system. The fact that the fans have a 50% vote and the players have only 25 is ridiculous to me. When it comes to NBA fans, I promise you probably like 10% of them are actually voting based on stats. That's probably why if you were going to vote for Chris Paul in the NBA All-Star game, you had to scroll about a couple times to see his name. I think it took like 15 to 20 spots for me to actually find Chris Paul, and let's face it, Chris Paul is a top 5 point guard, at least in the West. Number one, because Chris Paul was not a popular name that was going to get voted in, and number two, for the fact of the matter is that Chris Paul averaged like 15 points per game, which isn't bad because number one, he's the second best scorer on his team, and number two, he's more of a playmaker than anything, and is averaging a double-double right now on the number one team in the NBA. If you were going to actually vote for Chris Paul, you had to manually look for him in the selection process. I think it's well known at this point that I despise traditional NBA media. However, if it was up to me, I would probably have the NBA All-Star voting be around 50 to 60% players, about 25 for media, and the rest for fans. Because like I said, a majority of fans are not actually basing it on who is the better player and who deserves it. It's a popularity contest, and a lot of people know that. To most people, the NBA All-Star game will not be a player's biggest accomplishment. However, when we use this to determine all-time greats, it's annoying. And it seems like the players actually know what they're talking about, so if it's up to me, I'm letting the players get a majority of the vote. I feel like in the NBA, when we give a majority of fans something like the All-Star voting and basically determining who's going to make the All-Star game, it is going to be extremely toxic, especially when you have NBA Twitter involved. You got Suns fans literally fighting for their life on Twitter when they try to make a point that Devin Booker should have been an All-Star starter or Chris Paul is a lot better than people give him credit for. With all that being said, if you guys did enjoy the video, make sure you guys leave a like on this and subscribe to the channel if you're new and notifications on. I'm gonna see you guys in the next video. Have an amazing day. Take care. Peace.